Ooh, what's going on YouTube? It's Donnie day. So this one's going to be kind of quick and painless. I had one of the brothers of the blade reach out to me. He bought a numbered D-bad military combat knife. Looks a lot like this. And he asked me if I would sign the sheath. So my brother Steve, of course I'm going to sign the sheath. It's going to have a little 88 down there on the end of my sign, but that was my sports number for football, volleyball. I always wore 88. So that's why there's an 88 on there. But drop your sheet. So I had to do that. But he also sent me this guy right here. And I'll tell you what, man, that is one of the most jagged edges I've ever seen. He asked me to sharpen this thing, and sharpen it I will. But you can see this thing. Look at that. It looks like it was chewed on up here. And there's actually a piece right here where if you drag it, it'll dig into your finger and catch. I pulled up a little piece of skin on my thumb while rubbing it. But look at this. This is the edge. Barely. I mean, this thing is so dull. It's just not going to cut anything. Look at, you can see that I'm pressing in, right? So we're going to make it to where if I did that afterwards, I'd cut my thumb off. So this is dull because of what it is. It's an old bayonet. It's a real old bayonet. I think it's a M1, I believe, M1 Grand bayonet, World War II era. So basically, these were extremely mass produced. And, you know, they were intended to hand it out to people that they expected never to return anyway. So that's why old war knives weren't always built the best. So people see, oh, the old war knife, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they're not always great because they were hurried up and they didn't expect everybody to survive that was carrying one. So they didn't have to be great. They just had to do the job just in case. But I'm going to make this thing, he wanted it sharp. So I'm going to make it like a today's knife edge. We're going to do a little something to it, and I'll check out some things and see if we can't make it better. But all in all, it's not a bad bayonet. It's not cracked anywhere, anything like that. You got a little bit of guard loosening. Who cares? And then it's just, I mean, you could see like right here they ground out, like they almost went way too deep, almost went all the way through. It like dips, and then when you do this, you can feel it like waving. But they got them out quick. It's still, I think these are awesome pieces to have. I love old bayonets. I think they're great. So I'm going to see if I can shore this thing up. All right, so before I sharpen it, I was giving it a good look over. You're going to notice it's dark. I'll tell you why. But I'm finding some pretty good rust spots. So what I did is I re-blued it to see how it would look back in its original form. And I think if I can get off all these rust spots and everything, I think it's going to look pretty cool. So I already started sanding it down. You'll notice the difference in color. This one's blued the way it should be, but it's also covered in rust. And I need to get rid of that rust to make the blue look nice. So I know you sent it to me for a sharpening, but I can't half-ass this project because I really like the knife. So I'm hand sanding your blade, and once that's all done, and it looks like more like this, you know what I mean, without all that rust on it, then I'll show you what I'm doing real quick, just to give you a little show so you can see how well your blade is coming out. I'm gonna do just a tip. So look at this. Once I sand all that stuff away, see that? Look at this. Look at the difference. Look at the difference between the blue and that. So it's going to, I'll tell you what, it's going to be beautiful, man. I know you wanted it sharp. And you'd asked me to do that, but there's no way in hell I'm sending this knife back to you not, debatted up. It's gotta be pretty sweet. If it's going to leave here and get back to you. I don't want you to have a crappy blade. I told you that you could leave it unsharpened if nostalgic. You could just leave it the way it is. You said, no, you want it sharpened. That means you want it nice. Well, look at that. Wait till I put an edge on there too. It's going to pop. It's going to pop. So I have to say that this is going to be pretty fun. All this is going to be resanded and blued. But now you can see where all the rust was. Man, this thing's going to be really cool. Okay, so it took a little work. I'm going to hold it way up here. I'm sorry about the weird angle, but Brother Steve, I made it look like it would have coming brand new. So you can accept there's an actual edge. You wouldn't have seen a nice shiny edge like that brand new, or maybe you would have. But the top, I didn't sharpen as much as here because it's a secondary edge. It didn't really need it. So I made it more convex. But I took out most of the rust. Trying to get you in some good light here. But you can see now it was so chunky that there was some spots. That's all just like brake dust. But you can see that little chip. There's so many pieces in here that were dug in. I didn't want to take out too much steel. So I just made it look good. Made it sharp. I won't saw my thumb with this. But it's just a lot nicer. So now it's an actual cutting edge, but I would just use it as display. And now at least on display it'll look better because you have that shiny edge. And it is now dark. It is blued. So it looks really, really nice. You can see the rear is blued. The guard is blued. It's just better. You can see like these little divots. That's where a lot of that rust was. And it just makes these spots on the blade, like right here. It's cured, but to sand it, I'd have to just keep on sanding. That would have taken forever. But because of what it is, I mean, it's not so bad having a couple spots like that on it. But that's it for this one, man. So you got your sheath, and I was able to take care of this for you. Made it look a lot better. Definitely made it sharper. This thing was butter knife dull. Now it's steak knife sharp. So there you go, my friend. I'll be sending this out to you pretty soon. Hope you're okay with all that. Hope you don't mind me fixing it a little more than just sharpening it. But I think it's a whole lot better now. All right, so that's it for this one. I am Donnie B all day. Until next video.